Hey, it's Aaron Watson here. Hey, it's Aaron Watson. Hey, listen, I just wrote a blog article today about how cell phones both help and hurt in a car accident. I can tell you, cell phones, if you use it the right way after your car accident, can save your case. Let me tell you why I say that. After a car accident, lawyers get involved, insurance companies get involved, investigators get involved, and all these folks who weren't there at the scene of the car accident trying to make sense of what happened in your particular car accident. The best witness that you have is your cell phone, is video evidence. And so after your car accident, if you're able to, if you're not too hurt, one of the best things you can do is take out that cell phone and start recording. I'm not saying go live on Facebook or anything like that, but just open your camera app and start taking video. One of the first things you're going to video is the scene of the car accident, where the vehicles are located, the crush damage to each of the vehicles. I would go around both your vehicle and go around the other party's vehicle as well. The other thing is the scene of the accident, the layout, the intersection. Take some video of that as well. If there's debris in the road, take photos, take video of that. In addition, skid marks. I've had cases where we've fought for years over skid marks, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars going to trial to try a case as to whether or not the defendant braked before the collision occurred. Those skid marks after a few days, after rain, after a storm, they can be washed away. And or another car accident could happen in the same location. And so your video camera, your cell phone, is just extremely important in helping to prove up what happened. Before cell phones were carried in every car, we would have to hire forensics folks, accident reconstructionists to go out to the scene to try to find traces of skid marks and where the debris was and mark up the scene. But you can save time, you can save money by just taking out your cell phone and documenting everything at the scene of that collision. Now, keep in mind that the other driver probably wouldn't want you documenting him or her, without their permission. But as far as the evidence, your injuries, if you're cut, if you're scraped, if you got bruising, take photographs of it. Even when you get to the hospital, take photos because a year from now, after your car accident occurs, those scars are probably going to be healed. Those wounds are probably going to be gone. Your memory or recollection of what happened may change, but that video is not going to change. And so document, document, document. It's almost like you become your own investigator. And when you get done recording that, send it to your lawyer. In fact, send it to the Watson firm. We can send you a text message. You click on the text message and you can upload all of the photographs, all the videos that you took at the scene of the car accident. Now, if you didn't have your cell phone after your car accident, if you didn't record, it's okay. We have a team of investigators at the Watson firm that can go back out and talk to witnesses, knock on doors, try to get store surveillance videos, try to go out and take photos of skid marks and try to make the most of the situation. Because I tell clients that insurance companies they're probably already out investigating the accident. They've probably already hired investigators, probably already gone out and knocked on doors, and so you need to have someone that's doing the same thing to protect you and your interests and your case. Now, we know that cell phones can be a powerful tool after your car accident. They can be a bomb if you use it before the car accident. Let me tell you what I mean when I say that. We all know that distracted driving is a problem. Using your cell phone, going live on Facebook while you're in operation of a vehicle is just kills your case. Even if you believe you didn't do anything wrong, if you were on your cell phone texting, if you were in any ways distracted, it can be a case killer. And let me tell you why. Florida has they've adjusted some of the laws here in negligence cases where if you are more than 51% at fault for causing a particular situation, an accident, more than 51% for causing your injury, you may not be able to recover, And so, that's why it's important that when you get behind the wheel of your vehicle, put on your seatbelt. Why? Because if you don't put it on, I've gone to trial. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to find out what injuries were caused by the car accident versus what injuries were caused by your failure to wear a seatbelt. Say, for example, if you have your seatbelt on, the experts will say that it will hold you in your seat. Your head may whip forward, but it will hold you in your seat. And so, if you don't have your seatbelt on and you go flopping around the car, well, what caused your neck pain or your neck injury? Was it the seatbelt, or was it the lack of wearing the seatbelt? Was it the actual negligent driver, or was it your negligence in failing to follow the law and wear a seatbelt? And so don't give the other party that out. Wear your seatbelt for your own safety, but also to protect your interests, just in case you're involved in litigation, where the parties will fight about. They will fight about your seatbelt use and whether or not your seatbelt caused or your lack of wearing a seatbelt caused your particular injury. And you can think of that. The same type of argument with low back pain, with hip pain. They would argue, well, hey, if they had worn the seatbelt, oh, they probably wouldn't have been hurt at all, or 90% of their injuries would not have occurred. And so, what do they tell the jury? Well, they're asking for $100,000. So, if 90% of their injuries would not have occurred, but for this seatbelt issue, then you ought to give 90%. You ought to take away 90% of the verdict. So the jury awards $100,000. They'll say take away 90% because it was 90% her fault or his fault. So you'd end up walking away with $10,000. So a jury can go in and analyze what percentage of fault was attributed to you, what percentage of fault was contributed to or attributed to the other driver. Wear your seatbelt. Put down the phone while you're driving. I understand that phone calls happen and text messages happen, but the issue is distraction. And if the other side can show that you were in any way distracted at the time the accident occurred, and your distraction caused or contributed to the collision, they're going to try to, lessen or cheapen your case as a result of that. And so, cell phones can be both a help after a car accident, but it also can harm your case substantially if you use it before the accident occurred or during the accident. And so keep that in mind. If you've been involved in a car accident, if you have a case and you say, hey, I want to have somebody take a look at it to find out what my rights are, what my options are. If you have video of your car accident, of your truck accident, even of your premises liability case, and what that is a slip and fall. You go into somebody else's premises and there's oil on the ground. Take pictures, document, because you'll be surprised. Even though the store might have cameras all around it, when you go and ask for it, they'll say, oh, that camera wasn't working. Oh, we don't have the video. Oh, the video records over itself after a certain amount of time. And so it's your responsibility to protect your interests. Document. Hey, thanks for tuning in today. You can see it's getting dark. I'm working late tonight. I got to get a brief filed, but I wanted to jump on just to talk about car accidents and the importance of the cell phone after the accident, and also the importance of not using it during the accident or in the moments before. Visit watsonfirm.com. If you have any questions about your personal injury case, feel free to call us at 850-607-2929 for a free case evaluation. We're contingency fee lawyers. What that means is that you don't pay us anything unless we win your case. If we get involved in your case and we're not successful, or if we get involved in your case and it turns out there is no case, you don't pay us anything. We close the file. We write off our fees and our costs. If we do recover a fee for you, our attorney's fee is 33 1/3%. That fee is set by the Florida Bar. What does that mean? Is that if we recover $1 for you, the fee is 33 cents. If we recover $1,000, the fee is $333.33. 10,000, 100,000, and so forth. That's what a contingency fee is. But I'd love to hear about your case. Again, WeDemandJustice.com or WatsonFirm.com. I look forward to speaking with you.